up, real pretty family? You know how we coming, you know how we bumming, you know how we slumming in this channel. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button down below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends, family, or anybody who has a YouTube account. Okay, so in this video we are going to be talking about how to control your emotions, because controlling your emotions can make you look and feel like a stronger, more confident, more sophisticated person. Because I've come a long way, but me learning how to control my emotions definitely makes me move through life much happier. I feel more peaceful. My interactions, I don't feel as irritated as I was supposed to be. I don't get stressed as often. So it's very, very, very useful to control your emotions. Okay, so let's get started. Tip number one would be bad emotions are just signals to your body. They do not mean that you have to take action. Never, 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 never take action when you are in a bad emotion, such as sadness, anger, distress, laziness, anything neglectful, anything negative. It does not mean to start getting up and taking action. That's actually the time where you need to go sit down, relax, and recalibrate before you think about taking any action. True emotional control is managing your emotions, not suppressing them. You don't want to say, oh, I'm sad, I'm mad, and then go and do something regretful. Or you don't want to go and drink, because you know drinking is an antidepressant. Well, not anti, it's a depressant, so it means it's going to make you more sad. So don't do anything that'll repress your memories, which would be like drugs, alcohol, social media, anything that distracts you. Do not repress the emotions. That is definitely tip number one on learning how to control the emotions, because the more you repress it, it's just gonna go deeper and deeper and deeper down into your soul, your mind, and it's just gonna come out one day, or it's gonna cause you to have stress, and stress leads to diseases, and you don't want that. Tip number two would be to acknowledge and name the emotions that you're feeling. So once you are able to name the emotion that you're feeling, you will be able to manage it better, such as I'm sad. So once you know, like, oh my gosh, I'm sad, because sometimes you could just like sometimes throughout the day you just have these little irritations and you just like feel a buildup, and then somebody could like step on your shoe, and then all the building up, all the thinking, all the anxiety of that day that you didn't face, then when somebody steps on your shoe, you're just like, it's okay, it's not you, it's me, and you just start busting out, like having a breakdown. That's what happens. That's where breakdowns come, is when you don't address your emotion, because that's like you're in a denial phase, and you don't want to be in denial. So address the emotion so that you can better manage it. With sadness, you know that you're sad, so maybe don't look at sad music, don't look at pictures and memories and things that'll make you sad. Go out into the sun, go listen to happy music. This is something that I used to do. If I was sad, I would listen to rap, upbeat music, or maybe you want to listen to jazz or this or that. But just do something that you know will put a smile on your face. For if you're mad, you can obviously sit in your bed, watch a movie, take a bath, do something that will make you sit down, because when you're mad, that's when you're going to want to go take action, right? But no, we don't take action. We're going to sit, process what we're feeling, and see what we do later. So this tip of acknowledging your emotions and naming your emotions, it kind of reduces the intensity of the emotion. Like, obviously, once you realize, like, oh my God, I'm just so mad. Like, once you realize somebody's making you mad, then you'll probably cool down a little bit, because you're like, wow, this person or this thing or this job or this whatever, these words got me so mad, and it made my blood pressure raise. It made me punch a wall. It made me go crazy. It made me do 1, 2, and 3. Why, right? So when you realize that, when you realize you're mad, it kind of does reduce the intensity. Like, wait a minute, let me just vent to a friend. Like, let me just take some steam off of my head. And then once the steam is out of my head, it's kind of like, yeah, that was stupid, but you know, 1, 2, and 3. So definitely acknowledge your emotions. Tip number 3. I know tip number 3 is probably going to sound cliche, but honestly, they do say to pause and take deep breaths. Pause and take deep breaths. Because honestly, taking a deep breath, it really does calm you down in stressful situations. What's going on? Want to go to bed, right? We got to go to bed later. Tell them to breathe. Tell the YouTubers to breathe. You gotta breathe in 5 times, breathe out 5 times. Because honestly, just taking a moment to breathe in and breathe out is kind of like a short meditation. And when you go into like a short meditation, you don't think about the world, you don't think about nobody around you, you don't think about the problem. All you're thinking about is your lungs imploding or exploding. I don't know the words, but growing and shrinking. That's what I think about. But psychologically, this does help you because breathing will slow down your body from going into flight or fight mode. And flight or fight mode is when your body is in a stressful situation and it just automatically thinks without even thinking. And like, that's where adrenaline comes in. That's where all of a sudden you can run 60 miles per hour like a cheetah. That's where you figure out survival skills. That's that fight or flight mode where you're gonna figure out how to eat in the wilderness, you know? But sometimes the fight or flight mode can trigger in everyday life, like at work, at school, with your friends, with your relationships, boyfriend, girlfriends, especially relationships with boyfriend and girlfriends, because it's just so much emotions going on. So the anger is just so much stronger. So you definitely don't want to get into flight or fight mode because you could do irrational things for small situations. Flight or fight mode is only if you're really in danger or you really need to survive. So when our body sometimes automatically goes into flight or fight mode for a simple argument with your girlfriend or boyfriend, that can be very bad. So this is why we pause, we breathe, pause, and we breathe. Or you could also leave the room, leave the situation, leave the person you're talking to, leave the area that's making you mad, walk out, take a 5-minute walk, just go breathe your body, your mind, your head. Just go take a breather. Okay? Okay. Tip number 4 is do not react on your emotions. And I've been kind of talking about this throughout the whole video already, but it is so important not to react on your emotions because I used to react on my emotions like that. I'm a Leo, I'm a fire sign, so it's just like, but honestly, it does take a lot of little things to get me mad, like repetitive things. And I'm a nice person. Like, I go up to you, I'll be like, hey, did you do 1, 2, and 3? Or did you, like, sometimes I might think I'm going crazy, so I'll just be like, oh, did you? And they be like, you know, like, if things just keep on adding up and they just keep on doing me wrong, and it's just like, I'm not journaling, I'm repressing my emotions, or I was repressing my emotions, not talking to people, not caring about myself, stuff like that. I used to explode, destroy things, be abusive, violent, emotionally, like verbally abusive, physically abusive, destroying things, yelling, screaming, crying, all 3 at the same time. It used to be really, really, really bad. So I didn't like that in myself. And I realized, like, I have to learn how to control my emotions because I don't want to be an angry person all the time. I don't want other people or other factors to get me out of my beautiful, caring, happy character. Like, I want to stay happy, peaceful, and caring all the time. So it's just like when people made me get that way, I didn't like it. So I would definitely say the biggest tip is to not react on your emotions, because when you do react on your emotions, you'll most likely regret it later. You'll most likely get yourself in trouble. You will raise your blood pressure, your stress levels. You might hurt yourself and you trying to hurt somebody else. And I would just say, to save all the trouble and the violence and the anger and the stress on your body, just take a breather, sit down, go watch a movie, and then after a day or two, or after a couple of hours, but I would say a full 24 hours, then think about the situation. Maybe vent to a friend, talk to your therapist, journal it out, and just get a different perspective. And then maybe the perspective's right, maybe it's wrong, but you still know with your intuition, hey, maybe I don't need to get angry. Luckily, I didn't go blow up his car over just a missed text. He was really just sleeping. That would have been crazy. Right? But yeah, you don't want those situations to happen, because sometimes you could ruin a really good relationship, which I have done, by just constantly not controlling your emotions. Constantly, like, just me getting angry and mad and crazy and sad and destroying things. And it's just like, nobody wants to be around that. And I realized that, like, if I want a loving, happy relationship that will lead to marriage, I can't be acting like that. So I definitely had to do some work into myself, journal it out, breathe, do some stretches, do some meditation, watch some podcasts, journal, read some books about it, all that good stuff. But I would say podcast was definitely a big educator for me. Tip number 5. Tip number 5 would be to identify your triggers. Identify what got you so mad. Identify what made you so sad. Identify what is going on in the world, in your subconscious brain, and all of that, to understand why you got so emotional. Once you understand why you got so emotional, then you can start to journal it out. So sometimes, like for women, sometimes we get our periods. So I know I'm getting my period because, like, the week before, I'm crying over everything. And I'm already an empath. So, like, I could be watching TikTok videos of army people coming home and I'll just start crying, or weddings, or babies, or anything. And I'll just start crying, right? But when I'm on my period, oh my goodness, I am crying. Like, I am just so emotional. I just think everything is so sweet, so cute, or I'm just always crying about something. So there could be subconscious things going on, such as your period, or maybe a death anniversary is coming up. Sometimes, like, since it's June, it's Father's Day and I don't have my father, so I did cry a little bit this month. And it's just like, I really, like, don't cry often about it. So when I did cry, it's just like, dang. And then I realized, like, my friend was like, oh, it's Father's Day's coming up. And I'm just like, yeah, like, I have been seeing posts and, grocery stores and gift ideas, but I wasn't really sad about it. But it's that subconscious mind that probably was repressing my sadness, and then all of a sudden I'm just all of a sudden crying. So it could be anything like that, something going on in your life. Also, when I was, like, not homeless, because technically I was living with my mom, but to me, I felt homeless because I've always had my own apartment. So it was just like, that was putting a burden on me. Like, now that I have my own apartment, I feel like life is so much more peaceful. Even though I still have problems and hiccups, and I still got to pay rent, and my job is acting stupid and not giving me hours, and I got to get all 4 tires on my car. Like, there's problems in my life, but it's just like, I just feel so much more peaceful. That burden is taken off of me. And I had to realize that. Like, I had to realize that my mother was my trigger. My mother was my trigger from childhood trauma. So it's like, every time I live around her, I be around her, it's just like I have hidden anger inside of me. And I feel like I do need a therapist when it comes to that. But I also feel like I'm not going to get the help I need, because she is still alive and she's never going to apologize for what she did. She's never going to take responsibility, accountability. So it's just like, there's no point of me trying to fix that. Like, I'm obviously trying to fix that and heal that in myself, but when you don't get no accountability from the other person, it's just kind of like, you gotta do what you do, you know, move on. You can never get accountability, but you still have to heal yourself, and you still have to be a great person. So when I realized my trigger was, for me, sadly, my mother, I knew I had to get out of that apartment as soon as possible. Like, I knew it. It was making me angry towards my relationship at the time, which obviously ended in us breaking up because I was always so angry. I was always just bitching and nagging and being verbally, emotionally, and physically abusive. And then, like, it was to a point where sometimes I would get angry at Kobe and I would be yelling at him, and just I could tell that I was just yelling at my son more often, and we were like clashing, and I don't know. It was just like I was angry at myself too. It was just a very, very angry negativity, dark cloud over me. And it's sad to say that, but I will always appreciate my mother's help. You know, she's still in my life. You know, other people don't have mothers. I get that part. Yes, I do appreciate her. I still talk to her, stuff like that. But she was my trigger. She is my trigger. So you have to identify the trigger in order to fix the problem, because you don't want to be in a constant loop of always being sad or always being mad or always being lazy or, you know, any negative emotions. So, yes, definitely identify the triggers, journal it out, figure out how you can maybe change your life routines or your life patterns and stuff like that so that you could skip around the triggers. You know, like, even if I didn't have the money to move out, maybe I would just speak less often, close my door, stay away, try to go outside more often, go to the park with my son, go to the libraries. Like, I would try to go out all the time at night. Like, I would just try to get away any way that I could. But do whatever is healthiest for you about whatever your trigger is. But most of these triggers, I'm going to say, is from childhood trauma, something that happened in the past. So you might have to do a deep dive to figure out, like, why you're really mad. Tip number 6, which is the last tip, which also might sound cliche, but is important with controlling emotions psychologically, physically, and overall, which is physical health. And physical health, like, what you eat definitely will control your emotions. Because if all you're doing is putting in processed foods, greasy foods, negative foods, food without life, it's like, what do you expect your thoughts to be? What do you expect your body to be? In 10 years from now, what do you expect you're gonna have your doctor telling you? You know, like, I do care a lot about my image, but it's about freedom. I don't want to be in a hospital bed. I don't want to be in a retirement home. I don't want to be in a wheelchair. I don't want to be in crutches. I don't want to have an IV in my arm. I don't want that. And it's just like, all of that could be avoided by just eating the right foods, drinking water every day, walking, spending some time in the sun, getting your vitamin D, eating nuts, not nuts, but like whole grains, actual like almonds, cashews, lemon and water, stretching, even just stretching your body and hearing all the bones crack and feeling your muscles pull, like all of that releases stress. I've even heard a fact that you could stretch your thighs because your thighs can hold hidden trauma. Like, just stretching your thighs can release trauma, because I think it's in Thailand. I think it's in Thailand where they do those recovery recruits. I've been seeing it on TikTok, and, you know, I don't know if it's true or not, but the way it be looking true. I gotta believe it. So in Thailand, they be having like this beautiful garden looking zen area, and the ladies basically just like massaging you, stretching you, and then they like pat your back, pour water and the flowers and do all that stuff on your head, and then all of a sudden you just start screaming, crying, and you just let out all this stress that your body's been holding. And it's just so amazing to think about stuff like that. Like the Asians, the Africans, Indians, like all these people have all these natural health guru tips and tricks because they're still out there in like some type of wilderness. They're still out there getting the basics. We're in America over here looking like some utopia city, but they're really out there gardening and getting water from wells and doing everything healthy. So it's just like, that's why I love to see other places and other things, and I want to travel because it's just like, just imagine the different ways of life, the healthier ways of life. I heard that if you live in Italy, you can still eat like 3-4 plates of pasta and you will actually lose weight. And that's because they have real dairy, real butter, real cheese, real pasta, handmade every time, not processed, not dead, not sitting on a shelf for over 10 years and it will never mold. Like, you really have to think about what we're putting in our bodies. Like, you don't have to be on a diet 24/7, but try to incorporate, hey, let me at least drink 2 liters of water. Hey, let me at least stretch for 10 minutes a day. Let me meditate my mind and just turn off the TVs, turn off the phones, and just put my phone on Do Not Disturb and just sit in silence for 10 minutes. Let me reset my brain. Let me fast for 2 days. Let me reset my stomach, you know? And I low-key want to do that, is like fast again, because fasting was pretty cool. But that's a different topic. I don't want to go into that. But physical health and eating really matters. And it's like, it's so hard to do it in America because all we see is hormones this and fake that and McDonald's every 2 inches. But I try to eat healthy. I try to keep myself fit and, you know, in shape and stuff like that. But eating healthy will definitely help you with your stress levels, your heart beats everything, and your heart beats the blood. And if the blood's not going to the brain enough, then the brain's not getting enough thoughts, enough love, enough nutrients, and it's just going to decline. And I don't want your guys' bodies to decline, okay? Real Pretty Family, I want us to be healthy, strong, happy, and live better lives. So I'm not saying you gotta go get a gym membership, but just take a walk every now and then. Like, park farther in the parking lot at Walmart. Like, park all the way in the back, or take the stairs instead of the escalator. Just do stuff like that. So, Real Pretty Family, that was the last of the tips. And in this video, I taught you on how to control your emotions. And hopefully, when you learn how to control your emotions, you'll have better interactions with your friends, family, relationships, jobs, anything in the social world, okay? So this is Real Pretty Family. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and go share this video with all of your friends, family, people, anybody who has a YouTube channel, okay? Okay. Love you.